Up there with the Unity arena and
Even my
speed.
lesser foes are remembered.
You may have not even required the arena to be dropped, but I suppose it's just in case. Boom, they won't be looking for a team fight anytime soon. I say that, Armel. Wolf got spotted, Hyde, he's gonna run into Bok and gets the cogs off with the battery assault. There's not much Bok can do apart from Spirit Siphon. He'll go for the Yules, Armel, thinking about helping out. They spam away, there's a corner out, but Armel, he's too late to the fight. I don't think they can fight, or maybe they can, Gabby. He's gonna join in, it flips up in 2 seconds. Egg on the high ground though, they need to back immediately. Maybe you can argue maybe the egg was unnecessary, but I think for Boom, they just want to disengage after securing a nice kill onto Bok. It's exactly what they get. Go chill out for a bit. With that exile cooldown though, I see that Gabby! He's gonna run right into Makoto. A nice kill taken by Armel. Oh, he flicked right into it. Makoto, he's gonna be alright. Gabby, he'll pop the BKB and turn around with the Eclipse now. FBZ at least goes down, but they are still gonna go for more as Boomy builds himself for a second. That'll be enough. They don't have the catch. Still a worthwhile trade for Boom as they found Armel for FBZ. I have to say that's worth.
Definitely worth. Boom are just finding the targets they need to in these fights, and because Gabby had to use the BKB and Eclipse, you can expect the Luna not to show up in the next few engagements for at least 2 minutes. So it's a big opening for Boom if they want to look to go for the next arena egg combo in about a minute. The Luna's not going to be quite ready to face up against that, and they're still stalling out for the PL. He's actually managed to catch a point nicely. Now Dream Assault's above Armel's farm. Our puck has slowed down. They need to find a way to recover their Kensky.
Radiant's bottom tower
that
is
was a
pretty
bit off.
sad right now.
Yeah, I think he wanted to just secure the 2D rune, but he Icarus dived a bit off target. Gabby took a very nice easy kill for himself. Easy lose and beat. Now TNC, they just won't stop this aggression. Even if they lose those last team fights, they do not care. Ultis are back up, they want to try and make use of it. But of course, Boom Esports, they know this. Now the Phoenix, it seems like they don't want to fight, but they're going to have to now. The Roshan has been started. You've got the arena. Egg is available in 3 seconds. They just need to make their way over, but the Roshan is dropping so darn low so quickly. They've got to make the jump in. Rocket Player's going to get injured. They're trying to force the way to the clockwork of the Aegis. It is going to go the way of Gabby. Now Boom, they need to dissipate. They do not want to fight this, or maybe they do. They're onto Armel with the hook shot, but there's no follow-up.
Gather round.
He's buying some space for the rest of his team to back. That's exactly what he does.
Yeah.
Everyone else gets out. Hyde, he'll sacrifice his life.
Thank you.
Great set of pickups for TNC.
Radiant structures must have been fortified.
Gabby's gonna feel a little bit comfier up front. You can see Boom, they're still grouped up though. They have the arena egg combo.
Nice speed, Gabby. He's been caught out. He just got the ace of the Immortal. He's gonna BKB up. You can run, but they might be able to get him in time. Yulceptor's there. Dream Assault not done on the arena. No, it's gonna be just enough time on the BKB to run out as now Bok is in danger, dropping so down low underneath the sun itself. They found the DP, it seems like. Though Bok is a tanky boy. Spirit Siphon now he's gonna try and run, but no, they do end up getting him in the end.
Radiant's bottom tower
At the very
seen better
least, you got
days.
Gabby up. He did have the Aegis anyway, but you got him out with the Aegis.
Regeneration! Trouble brewing at Radiant's bottom tower.
It's just really greedy coming out from TNC. Like, there's this Obs ward just constantly watching him in that area, and even the Obs ward by the ramp area on the pit from Boom has just given him so much information to make those decisions, to make those jumps in. They were just camping that high ground for a fairly long time, so you do have to respect that arena egg combo. I think Gabby's just very fortunate that was his 8-second BKB charge. If it was any shorter, like literally the 7-second charge, he would have been caught in the arena and dead. So just very on the edge there for TNC. They still maintain that lead, and Boom, they're going to have to wait for cooldowns for that next combination to come in. But we're reaching the point where Dream Assault's getting a bit scary, Mike. He's got the SNY, but it they do get the scan out though. They know FBZ's in the tree line.
They do, but they miss out on the... Oh no, they don't. Quail is there. Oh no, he got just enough vision. Down FBZ, he's going to go to the arena, but it's not going to matter.
A real killer on the loose.
Plenty of damage to burst him down in time. Nice pickup from TNC.
Radiant's bottom tower's seen better days.
I really think they're going to be able to find an objective of this, but maybe they could try just chipping down that tier 2 top tower. Maybe
Dire's
you'll get
top
started on that
tower.
work.
You know the
Rock
drill.
it on.
Dire's
Oh my God,
structure's
Luna.
looking fortified.
He's been scouted. They're not going to initiate. I'll leave him.
Radiant's bottom tower ain't a pretty sight right now.
Mid lane. Far. Very far forward. Hawk shot high. Right on the edge. But he does connect. Oh, it's a great hook shot from Hyde, but now the reinitiation Armel. He shows up. Who are they going to aim? They'll go after the clockwork, but can you lock him down? Lucent Beam is there, but Makoto, he'll be there to back him up, and so will Dreamer Cell with a couple of PL illusions to force TNC back the other way.
It's really tricky right now for TNC. Most of their damage is still magical. You're not at the
And
point
it's
where
off.
the Luna's an absolute right-click beast. So you're relying on Lucent Beam to kind of melt through the HP a bit more. You're relying on Puck to help you melt these heroes a bit more as well. But there are a lot of Hood of Defiances on the side of Boom. We have one on Clockwork, one on Leshrac, on the PL. Our Morris doesn't have one. And you do have the Glimmer Cape on Kesky. So literally 4 out of 5 heroes have magic resist of some sort. And that is slowing the pace of TNC's rotations. TNC though, as you mentioned earlier, they don't seem to care. They just smoke up and keep hunting.
Top lane, FBZ, defensive arena has been placed against Gabby, but they still might be able to come.
Makoto.
In fact, they found Makoto, they found a better target.
What ingratitude.
They still know FBZ's around somewhere. Oh no, he's gonna have a gander through the tree line.
The Dire might want to mine
Easy.
the top tower.
Champion hide and seek player.
Greetings.
Battle. Oh, he found him. He'll scepter up, calls down to the
Radiant's mid tower in your hands.
They've got the enchant, they'll get the kill, and they're on the top tier
Dire's
2
top
tower
tower's
now.
getting beat down.
Great set of events here from TNC, and for Boom Esports, this is a big problem
Dire's
because
got one
TNC,
last
they're going to
top
push high
tower.
ground. They'll try to force the buybacks. Hodo doesn't have one. Easy, he certainly doesn't
The
want to have the
Dire
community
might
if
want
he
to
can
mine
avoid
the
it.
top tower.
May have no choice
Radiant's
in the matter.
bottom tower's seen better days.
There it is.
Got ages for about 20 seconds more here.
Radiant's
so
bottom
can't
tower
afford
ain't
to get
pretty
in front. They got
sad.
Eclipse
Lost
ready
the
too.
top tower.
Only tier 3. So not really finding more, and I think they're going to play it safe. They know Aegis is about to expire. They already forced a buyback. That's more than enough considering the circumstances. You do have to kind of worry if this game goes long. I can't believe I'm saying that, but Dreamusel, he's got the Ag Shard. He's going into the heart. You know what's going to come after that. More than likely the Octarine. We'll see how
Radiant's
long
mid
it takes,
tower's
but
getting banged
this
up.
is a really good way to handle that high ground defense. So as long as Dreamusel hits those strides, you can hold high ground for a very long time. And boom, despite that buyback, they are actually smoking up as 4.
Yep. It's the element of surprise, right? You wouldn't expect this kind of smoke rotation to happen. It's exactly what Boom's going for. Problem is, they don't have any vision on anyone. Everyone's just fine on TNC, and it seems like TNC has kind of sniffed this out. In fact, Armel's going to rejoin the team. They might counter smoke. Here's a team waiting for that initiation from Boom, but it never comes. There's a team though, just in case, behind Gabby. Boom has backed off.
They recognize that it's a bit of an awkward spot to start fighting. There is there's some obs here in the triangle finally watching the movements of TNC.
Blessings
Sentry
upon
out, so
a
if you
loyal
choose
warrior.
to smoke, I think ideally get the D ward first, but they have this cliff ward from TNC. So maybe they feel like there's no vision. Probably a bad time to smoke.
All in service to
So,
Gabby on the hook shot. Arena speed down. They've already felt Bok as well. He's going to use that for up. Now no spikes there. Starting the run. Gabby. He'll get the BKB up and try to just try and fight back like a Giga Chad. He'll just stand and fight. Makoto, he's going to try, but they can't get him. He'll fall off, but no Dreamer Cell from the side. Does manage to pick him off into another. They'll get Boomy. There's no buyback on Gabby. Dreamusel and the crew, can they get something done with this? The pings are out for that bottom tier 2 tower.
really good creep cutting from Armenal to ensure that the mid's not under threat.
Trouble
So they'll
brewing
have
at
to just
Radiant's
settle the
bottom
bot.
tower.
And that should still open
Have
up
fun
the
trying to
outpost room
bust
to
down
deny
Radiant
some XP
structures
per
now.
minute. And that should help them to kind of even out the progression
Radiant
here
bottom
from
tower
Doomsday.
ain't pretty
Doomsday just
safe.
ran
Radiant
around. I
lost
didn't
one of them
expected
bottom
Doomsday
towers.
to be anywhere remotely close. So a really good surprise move from him. It looked good for TNC at the start, but just kind of faltered at the end. Dropped way too low on that Luna. I'm surprised we're not seeing Gabby go for something like the Satanic, not
Dyer's
just for the
mid
Vispa,
tower
but
could use a
actually
little
for the
help.
lifesteal. You can't man fight as a Luna without some form of lifesteal. So I think damage is not an issue. This Daedalus Rush is nice, but again, I think a Satanic would do you more good here.
See, he's still grouped up. They'll take their outpost
Yeah,
back.
coin.
I think the Satanic would be quite impactful, John, but that's not going to be the case. They want the damage output. Daedalus build up from Gabby. Certainly going to hurt quite a bit once he gets to work. They're going to sit back as well. Just take their time. Allow Dreamer Soul his own time to farm up as he's very close to that Heart of Tarask now. Yeah, a much tankier hero, but Roshan's up. TNC, smoked as 5. They want to start a fight. Could also try to sneak the Roshan if they feel really brave. Boom, they are across the map, but they're also going to counter smoke.
And it's off.
Smoke on smoke situation. Roshan scouted by Tim's, Rocket Flare. Not going to give any info, but the fact that Roshan is up. But once it wears off, TNC, they might be able to smoke, rather just start this. But they won't.
Get on.
A Rocket Flare. Vision of Armel and Boomy in the pit, and now Boom feeling very confident, moving up FBZ. He saw Tim's for a second.
Got that board.
About going to get the vision on FBZ. Tense scenario between these two teams. You really don't want to give up that second Roshan. There's so much value. And just neither one really going to start the fight this time. They haven't found the opening.
No, don't smoke here. They're clumped up. This ramp ward is still up somehow. 2 sentries around it have not reached in range. And it's just giving Boom all the information they need. They know where TNC is clumping around. They fortunately do not smoke, so that is good news. They smoke further out. Very smart. Scans out. That is a dire scan, but they're not in the pit. So this smoke could still shape up to something more. But look at Boom's positioning. They're just always by the triangle, always on the opposite side of the map. No opportunities for TNC to actually get that pick off.
Say that, John, mid lane, Boom Esports, they have the low ground, they're running right into TNC, but Makoto, he's broken the smoke, he got the BKB off in time in the arena, it's not going to catch anyone. We still want Tim's, but TNC, you know they want to reinitiate now, Arnold.
Behold!
He won't find a cool target. They pop the Exorcism, they're going to try and rush the Roshan. No arena. Harder to get a nice egg off in this team fight. Boom, they can't allow this to go down for free. You've got the hook shot, you might be able to go for the steal. They're going to try and buy time. Rocket Flare still giving vision. Does wear off now. Hook shot's in. He's in the pit high. He's going to try for the right. He outpicks everybody. Green and Silk. We're going to the backside. It's not the fight for Gabby. He's already got that BC. He's got the full duration off, but it means nothing if Gabby. He's the team. Surviving on the day. Back on the corner with the cost high. Require more space. It won't matter that the Koto's down. And Gabby, he'll keep to work, still Dreamer Soul. He wants to fight. Gabby still going up behind the clockwork, just about a 4 minutes, and they will be able to get him surely, just barely. And in the end, Dreamer Soul, he's the only one left. A full team wipe out for TNC, and they got absolutely everything from the pit.
Oh,
everything.
that was right on the edge. Right on the edge from Gabby. He managed to clear out the inventory. I'm surprised he actually managed
Dire's
to do that.
mid-tower
I think the
won't
cheese
last
was
much
left on the
longer.
ground, and he managed to just eat the ag shard because it was coming in from his backpack. He ate the shard, and then managed to pick up the
Dire's
cheese.
mid-tower is
Right on the edge, right when
technical
he's dropping
difficulty.
below that
Dire couldn't
threshold.
hang on to that
And boom,
mid-tower.
that was a very costly forced fight. They jump in on the back of that hook shot
Dire's
that doesn't actually
mid-tower
catch him.
won't
And look at
last
that.
much longer.
Gabby knows it's a Luna. You can skip these
The
objectives. You
Dire
can just
win
go for the
and fortify their
2-4s, go for the
structures.
throat, and pressure for buybacks. Unfortunately,
Dire's
Boom's
mid-tower
not
could
biting
use
the
a little
bait.
help.
So they're not going to fully commit for the buybacks, but this will still lead to a couple of racks if you're not careful.
You still might want to
The
try
Dire weren't
FBC.
partial to that
Limit
mid-tower.
KBC, but David
Dire's
tips it in.
mid-ranks
They get the
against
hex.
Squad.
There's your buyback. Dream himself already committing his
Hey,
rush towards
Nano.
Gabby. I don't know if he can find the coil. Gonna lock him down. Arena defensively placed. Doesn't matter. Dream himself. He's still leashed, but he's alive. As he will go
Here I am.
back off. First dive in, Kesku trying to slow them down. They want to catch a straggler. They need to make this buyback worth it. But can they find anyone? Boomy, he is caught. That's
Wait
not going to be the greatest
go.
target. They might just have to accept what they get, but that's all they're going to get. If you're TNC, you're happy with that.
Trouble
You
brewing
force
at
the Dream
Dire's
Assault
top
buyback,
ranks.
and they only get an Enchantress out of it.
It's a really big win. That is a dieback in your inch, but not the biggest loss in the world. You hold on to your Aegis. You can wait for this BKB to be back up. Gabby is, again, just going full damage, going for the Butterfly next, it looks like, after the Daedalus, which is still just being kept in the secret shop. So even more protection. The evasion's really going to annoy the PL. Like, he's nowhere near thinking about a Bloodthorn. He's nowhere near an MKB. The illusions do get the pierce apparently, but not the damage. But nowhere near any of those. So if this butterfly is built up by Gabby at a decent rate, not only is he hitting faster, but he is so well protected from those illusions. Dream Assault's going to have a bit of a rough time getting his own damage off. I'm actually really happy to see this from Dream Assault though. Like, he got the heart done, right? He's got the shard, but he's not going Octarine, Mike. He's going Scotty. So more stats, more tankiness for the illusions, I suppose, and not the spam. I actually, honestly, this feels like a game where you might want to go Octarine, actually. No, but it's the defense. You try to justify it with the defense. I think it does make sense. You spam it out on the high ground. It will bounce around and you just build an army. Then again, I don't think the Luna particularly cares. Outside of burning mana, it doesn't do too much to Gabby anyway, so probably for the best.
I mean, it makes sense. I do agree the high ground defense with the Shard Doctrine is incredible. I just don't think it's going to be enough. I think Dream Assault would rather be able to really get in there and fight for the team than have to rely on those Lancers. Maybe later on, we'll see. TNC back into the Dire jungle. They'll take the outpost.
This is beautiful. This is beautiful, Mike. Dagon 5 up on Armel with a quickening charm. Cooldown at 13 seconds for how much of a nuke? 800 damage nuke at 13 seconds. Beautiful. Great. Perfect.
It's like a finger, but just 13 seconds instead of, 100.
Yep. That's what it is. Really good item. And they're applying pressure on the high ground. Again, they have Aegis for a lot longer. It should be a relatively quick push. It's a Luna. You can't really stop these racks from falling.
The Dire's
Well, there
top
goes your range
ranks
racks.
is all to pieces.
And they go, oh no. But throughout the coil yet.
Right.
Gabby's got the shards as well, don't forget. And with that Daedalus, those bounces can do a lot of damage if
The
you're not too
Dire's
careful.
mid-ranks.
I believe he's
It's
critting for
gone.
about 800 right now.
Thanks.
God.
Not going to be able to fully commit. Gabby shows up in the mid lane, but even with the Aegis, you can tell they really just want to be careful and not to throw this game away. And there's the Aegis expiring anyway. Just nice timing from TNC to back off. They clean. Boom Esports, on their part, they're going to smoke up. They want to try and take advantage of the fact the Aegis is now no longer there. Abby, he's the closest target. Hyde, he did not get vision.
Homing in.
Could flare. Gonna catch anyone. Gabby, oh, he's gonna run into Hyde. Hook shots up, but they aren't gonna pop it. That's that BKB anyway. He's not that easy of a kill to just kind of burst down on this Luna. want the backlines first. Mel gonna break his own smoke onto the Phoenix. Be a nice start to They've lost 10, they've lost Kescue, and they keep going. They're gonna try. They will rush forward onto Boomy. Meanwhile, Brock dropping very, very low on that DP, but still fighting it out. Makoto dropping on himself. These Dagons have slowed up painful, but Gabby is in big, big trouble. There's the egg up from Kescue. It won't mean much.
Two down.
Boom, there he goes.
3 for nothing, rather 3 for 1 as FBZ just about to die, but he will survive as Brock.
I tested your
He's
metal
been caught.
and found it.
Oh my,
man.
TNC, that was a 4 for 1. They do get the buyback from Kescue. That was about it though.
Yeah, that's painful for TNC. Boom execute really nicely on that fight. It looked bad because their smoke broke and they didn't quite find the angle, but they managed to isolate out Gabby. Gabby hits 25 in the middle of that fight, so he gets the life steal count. Still
Trouble
not enough
brewing
to
at
out
Radiant's
sustain
bottom tower.
and kind of heal True. All the damage coming out from everyone else, and Boom, the 4-man arena was just too much. And he lost the line super quick. High ground's not going to take too long.
Radiant's
It's a left track,
bottom
it's a PL,
tower
they
seen
can
better
up quite
days.
nicely. Armel's trying to split with a DD, but the puck just doesn't light click and help you check it. It's the
Radiant's
same way
bottom
as the left
tower
track.
and Radiant's bottom tower is done
Esports
for.
on the verge of a comeback here in game 3. I suppose they weren't really that far behind,
Get
but
low to Radiant's bottom
two range
racks.
racks already. It certainly felt like TNC were in charge of this game
Radiant's
as
bottom
Armel. He's going to
racks
respawn.
ain't no longer with
Not
us.
have the coil to throw out. Hear the wave. Back out of there. There you go, John. You got what you asked for. Dreamer, so he is now going to buy the Octarine core.
Oh great, this is when it gets spicy. Still a ways off, but he's actually so hard to kill. Like, the damage output from Gabby is still really good, but it doesn't feel like Gabby really focuses on Peel as much. They try to clean up everyone else first, get the isolation off, and kind of go from there. Illusionist Cape for Gabby is nice, but you also have an Illusionist Cape on Boom. So looks like IceFrog isn't playing favorites here, Mike. Everyone gets a cape.
Feels pretty broken on both characters, right? Like, Peel plus a Luna. Why the hell not? And both get spell prisms.
Players
Fair enough.
here.
Wow, this is the most even tier 4s I've seen trading between two teams. Like, we almost never see that. I guess the telescope is kind of meh for Boom. I think you really would rather, I don't know, if a Minotaur horn sounds like it would be really good. So maybe that's what drops last for Boom. TNC, they're all pretty much set in tier 4s. They can start saving up. I think Gabby will need to save for buyback along with that Satanic buildup. Is going for it. So he skips the Butterfly, wants the Satanic next. Don't know what you really slot out from your inventory though. Maybe you swap around your boots, pop Satanic, swap them back in. You are fairly susceptible to being kited without move speed here.
Wrap around, burn, smoked up. In the Radiant Triangle,
Do it with flair.
Rocket Flare gonna get some great vision and hook shot into Paul's arena. It's gonna be off target though. FBZ completely whips it, and now they've lost time to start the fight. Makoto's still gonna go for this with Dreamercell, but can they really fight? 4v5, they're gonna try. Tim's falling very, very low, but not low enough as Gabby trying to fight a lot of the Fury now. FBZ, he does redeem himself at the end. Gabby should get the grips off. How is he not dead yet? Gabby, he's gonna back out that casket. He wants to
How about
they can't
that?
kill him off.
Dire's top racks is taking hits.
Oh my god.
Nothing left of Dire's top racks.
Just had the life heal just enough damage flying through. I think the Scotty, if he had the debuff on, must have faded at some point. Like, they stopped hitting him on the PL. So he just managed to heal back up, forces the two big buybacks, and Roshan is back up with a refresh. This is big. They could go for an extra refresh on the high ground push. They could go for a double Dream Coil. refresh for a team fight, they could go for Eclipse instead. And this is going to open up a lot of opportunities for TNC. They know Blood's in water. They know the buybacks forced out. Cash either of these heroes out, you are in for a world of pain. As even Armel finishes up his hags now.
Look at that bot rune, John. There's a bottle just waiting for Gabby right now. Look, they just left the bottle there. Just...
Double damage!
Who is that? Armel. Oh, he didn't swap in.
Ah, yeah. Okay. Gabby's like, who the hell cares? There's 2 heroes down, no buyback on either. Let's just rush. Rush through the mid. See if we can get it done. Boom Esports, they need to defend this to keep their TI10 dreams alive. TNC.
No breaking through the dire structures for now.
Against Fnatic, who are waiting in the grand finals right now. Gabby will get started from mid-ramps. Now brings the team forward, that's easy. He's in a nice arena, and Smoke does connect onto Gabby. Hookshot is there as well. Nervous thumbs out, but it's not going to be enough. Gabby will turn around now. Back on the high. They'll get the clockwork. No buyback available, but they do get the Aegis off Gabby. One more life for Gabby. The spear doesn't latch onto the cogs.
Not on my
connect. Dakota trying to hold him down. They'll even hand the cheese over to Gabby now. He has a bit of a secondary life. Green himself. A lot of damage being dealt. Pops the BKB on that Luna, and they want to retreat. They might have to come back another time as Boom Esports. They're not going to make it easy. They still hold that mid-melee barracks. TNC, even with an 18k net worth lead, they know not to throw against Boom. It's just too risky right now.
Not a situation where you want to risk it all, as we do get another pause. Flaming Dreamo Cell. Thank you, Armel. Prime opportunity for Merienda.
Indeed, it is Merienda time. You keep mentioning it. It is certainly a good time to get it, and of course, Boom having a donut. TNC, we have no idea what they're eating, but maybe if they win this series, we can kind of have a peek behind them, see what kind of food they've got in the background. I think I saw Motivate Trust, even though they got kicked out very early, they were having like lobsters and crabs.
They had a feast. Yeah, that was insane. A hell of a lot of crabs and lobsters. Like, dang, I haven't had that in a while. You know? There's a unique crab from my dad's hometown. It's called curacha. I think I forget what they're called in English. They're a nice long fat crab, and normally you cook them up with I don't know what it's called, alavar sauce, which I believe is like crab fat and butter and something. It's very decadent, very rich, and I miss it. Just a fun fact. Very good seafood here. Great stuff.
I mean, they're still in this game, John. It's an 18k net worth deficit, but when you defend that high ground, it doesn't seem like...
You should remap your keys to get the full experience. Go back to legacy keys. See how you do with that.
I ran legacy keys for quite a while until I realized you could kind of alter them. I think it was like a full year before I actually found out you could change it. It was a hell of an experience. Yeah, I was a bit of an idiot, John. I didn't pick up on it.
Hyde actually asked what patay means. So anyone who doesn't know, patay means dead. And so they're yelling there, patay, patay, it's like, oh, I think he's dead, he's dead. That's all they're yelling. So it's always fitting when TNC spams it. But good to see that it only took until lower bracket game 3 for Hyde to ask that. So a fairly long time. There were a lot of Filipino teams they played, but they finally know. Very nice.
Very good indeed. Not blind. I mean, where's the voice lines? I haven't heard anything as of yet. TNC, they've been going at it, but Boom Esports very, very quiet. I haven't heard a voice line from them.
They haven't used the Maukamana boss, they haven't used Ratachin, they haven't used Et the Bang. I don't know. I think they're so focused, you know, they're on the line, they're hanging by an edge. Focus for this game.
Coils out, Mule Scepter, gonna buy time, comes land, now the X-Spllit trying to save, it's probably not gonna be enough, they've lost that BZ with Kodo, he's gonna run, they're gonna drop the egg and buy back, they'll go for the team fight, but can they lock anyone down? They've only got bombs, they've all used their group as well, he'll survive with Dance Arena, and BZ is gonna try and charge, and cuts out Gabby, he's gonna go for the fight, but there's so many illusions around, but the Eclipse does no damage, now Dream itself rushes for
Guess
the
what's
Luna.
happening to
He's
Dire's
gonna climb
bottom
back as
tower.
well, keeps the rest of the
Dire's
team from
mid-range
Boom from
didn't
proceeding
make it.
further. Couple buybacks. Once again, Boom will hold the high ground. They are 2 Raxes down. That third Rax is still safe. Well, 5 heroes are up. It was a buyback each from each team. I think it's going to be about the next Roshan for both teams, John, but it's going to be about 3.5 minutes till we even find out when that's coming up.
Do it
Gotcha.
with
I
flair.
think TNC, maybe they don't want to risk waiting that long.
Yeah, it feels like they might be under a bit of pressure. They're the ones playing aggressive. I think the big issue right now is that the Luna damage isn't flying out. You only get 6 bounces on your plays. Look at how many illusions Dreamcell has at one time. It's not 6. So it's so hard to find a real PL, and that's where the back and forth between the Luna and PL kind of come into play. It's like, I am not scratching Dreamcell unless we kill the entire team first and then focus on the PL. That's how TNC's been doing it the past, I don't know, 20 minutes now. Like, they clean up the team fight and then they isolate the PL, put him on an island, and that's when they can really focus in. So they're gonna need to find a way to drag Boom out to that awkward position and force that out. We've been going long enough that it feels like buyback should be coming off cooldown again. It's still a ways off, about 2 minutes at the lowest for most, and 6 minutes for the other side. There it is.
John. 3-second cooldown Spirit Lance with Shard is now online.
Oh yes, beautiful. 4.5 second doppel as well. So how do you lock this guy down? I don't know. And this is the eternal defense.
Why not?
Money changes hands.
Another double damage rune going to be scouted out here by Boomy. We'll leave that for Gabby, I'm sure. Rocket Flare to scout out the Roshan, but again, it's very, very early for the Rocket Flare. Still 2 minutes till we find out when Roshan respawns. Gabby, he's got the bottle. He'll bottle the DD up this time, so he can save it for a while. Seems like TNC has kind of reserved themselves to just waiting out this third Roshan, or rather fourth Roshan. And they're high ground anyway. They're not budging. They're putting up an immovable wall with these PO illusions. You've got to fully commit if you want to take that final lane of barracks here from
Rock
Boom.
it on.
Getting really hard to pierce that high ground. We do have the butterfly up on Gabby now, so he's got some evasion to help himself tank up. Of course, the added damage is always nice as well. They just need to find a way to make use of that. Honestly, it feels like Gabby's gonna need to hit the next talent spike in his levels. Like, get that move speed talent, so you can definitely just sell your boots.
Double damage!
And feel a
Dire's
lot
bottom
comfier.
tower is
Like, you'll
getting the
have
business.
additional backpack space to swap God knows what around. As Boom, they managed to venture outside of base,
Them
take out the
dire
outpost, and
buildings
get
are
some
tough as
XP per minute
nails
back.
for now.
This
Guess what's
exposes the
happening
Rax
to
to
Dire's
venture close to
bottom
fortify
tower?
here.
Yeah, Gabby, he popped the DD rune, and there's the Exodus is mentally committing a nail on the backside. Got the shot, it's been BZ. He got Gabby for a second. KB was there. Tier 3 still standing. Pretty much come back for that any time as TNC. They could just send the Lunar Illusions in. That's exactly what they're doing right now. Slowly chip away the Tier 3. 29 HP for that poor tower. But just survive a bit longer.
Yeah, it's stalling the game out. Boom's still holding on. Next Roche in 15. We'll find out how long that respawn will be in a short while. So things are
Illusion!
looking up and up. Dreamcell, level 28, so has the 2 additional talents now. Minus 3 seconds Spirit Lance CD is already there. Already has the evasion on top, so his own illusions are feeling a lot tankier. Or at least himself is feeling a lot better now. And you don't have any evasion pierce from TNC. Not like 16% is massive, but you do have another pause here. Lag issue this time.
Yeah. I mean, 16%, it's not massive, but it could be the difference, right? Like that one hit before death, maybe it misses, you just never know. It's not like Dreamcell has a choice anyway. He has to take the talent. He's level 28 now. So it's, eventually, I mean, any talent just helps, so he'll take it. TNC, level 27 Gabby. Some decent talents himself. Plus 25 movement speed, really not that bad. Plus 8 all stats, you know, kind of negligible. I guess the mini stun can be quite nice as well. Anything that just kind of gives you that extra edge never really hurts, but Both teams
All
now
right,
got to
carry
focus on
on.
that Roshan, which has respawned. Problem is for Boom, you can't really leave the base. That's the problem.
Nah, I mean, they have two lanes that just constantly shove out. It's going to be really hectic to try
Dire's
and get out
bottom
there.
tower got
TNC
blown
can
to
probably
bits.
clear that in pretty fast time, and they are smoked up. So they're in a good position to maybe look to force something out, or just straight up take a Roche. Again, that's the full complement. Cheese, refresh, Ag's blessing. Wonder who they actually pass a couple of those things. I guess Ags would be good, although.
Flick away, down the clockwork. FBZ just speed from the low ground, but they got high. He's gonna fight back. They want to go for the fight. Egg committed. Fuck, he'll refresh. Go for the exorcism. On the Gabby they go. Dreamers are trying to commit all the way, but they need some lockdown. Gabby, hook shot, not gonna get the mark high. He missed everyone. Fingers there. Gabby's gonna turn around. They'll get the tie back. The clockwork's down. Dreamers though, still trying to fight us down the arena. We'll look toward from in. They're not moving. If they get blocked on the DP, his Aeon disc is gonna drop. He'll use that drop. He'll try to make a run as they fight around the Roshan pit now. But buyback is also there from Fermi. 5v4 scenario. Teams know the Roshan's up. Be about it though.
I'm looking at Armel right now. He's queuing an overwhelming blink on Puck. Not a swift blink for the right click down the line. Not an arcane blink. Overwhelming blink. I guess just prioritizing more stats, really feeling like he needs more strength, which is fair. Doesn't really have enough slots as the Puck to swap around, especially since he's a bottle carrier, pocketing those double damages.
It might be a bit of extra damage as well for the PL illusions. The slow never hurts either. Like, I mean, it does seem kind of weird, but I guess it's all about just trying to shut down Dreamer's Soul.
Yeah, just help identify the real one ASAP. The damage output isn't great on a Puck. You don't have that much strength to begin with, but I guess anything's better than nothing as they do start to rush. Boom's still in position here, but no hook. Oh.
They got was Armel for a second. Let's back off. Roshan still dropping. Makoto gonna try and run in, but it's just so hard without the clockwork vision. Coil's there. They've locked down two. They'll snap the leash, but they just want the Roshan. TNC going back in as Armel brings him back. He couldn't get there in time. They use him up. They've got the Phoenix under control with the Aeon disc. Gonna buy more time as he forces us up the hill. But Armel's still in the chase. With that day gone out, Phoenix in the cave might save him for a little bit more time, but not for long.
Think I lost
Zeke's time.
count.
You might wish
Not
to
gonna be enough
retract your
Armel.
last move.
Does take the kill. No buyback on Kescute. You've got everything from that second, or rather fourth Roshan on TNC.
Silence.
All 4 items. Time they try for that high ground again, I think.
Yeah, they have a lot of tools on hand. They've got the free Ags upgrade on Gabby.
Silence.
So the orbital cannon is in play. And that could be helpful. That could be really helpful in helping identify the PL in that next engagement. They've got a refresh sitting as well there on Gabby. So double eclipse in a pretty wide area is now a possibility. You do only have that one set of racks to kind of clear up. If they can throw Gabby in there, it's not going to last for long.
With that area denial from Makoto though, to make it a little bit more challenging as Gabby just trying to get into the gap. He does get stunned up for a second, and he's just going to go for the Mega Tricks. He really wants those racks down. Another stun out. He's still alright as the Bloodthorn now being thrown out on Gabby. Still fine, however. More stuff to come out. Gabby, he might lose his first life if he's not careful. He'll try to heal up, but there's just so much stuff flying away this runner. Another stun to Makoto.
Another
He's gonna
fail.
escape them. They're going to go for the fight. They've lost the
Dire's
Aegis
bottom
now.
range.
They've got the flags to go. The ball is in the run of the arena. It's there. Smells around Gabby. He can They've got the winner now. The egg will be committed. Armel needs to back up. Meanwhile, Fermi will get chased down by Dreamer's Cell. And they take down the Enchantress. Not quite. On the other side, Armel still trying to get an escape plan going for himself. But FBZ, he's on the chase. He away. No blink up on FBZ. He does have buyback. They can't really rush for anything. They could certainly try force the buyback out of this Luna. Just don't think they'll have enough time with all the creep skipping potential that you've got with Armel.
it's pretty difficult. And they could just try to body the bot lane, but looks like they're just going to take this time to maybe get some farm up themselves, stall out for a buyback. They're only really lacking Dreamcell and Hide by timer, Dreamcell by gold. So needs 900 more on PL to be safe.
Oh no, he's playing with fire now. He's gonna be alright. He'll overweight. But do you want to wait for the T5 items if you're doing esports? But maybe you have no choice.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll have
You're
a
like, alright, we're 26k down,
Radiant's
56 minutes in.
mid-tower
Our PL is in a very weird matchup against Luna, where Luna feels like she can and
Radiant's
also
mid-tower's in
can't
trouble.
handle PL. I think, you might as well wait 60 minutes. I don't think the game changes too much for either side in terms of farming up in the next 4 minutes. So, yeah, you could look for that slight advantage in that time period. Of course, you run the risk of TNC finding something like, say, a Ballista. That has been pretty game-changing on the range cores. And, of course, if you get a Ballista on Boom, no one can use that. Electrac Ballista, Phoenix Ballista, they both sound like absolute turds. So there's that risk that TNC can make use of those items just a little bit better.
Quite a few very nice items. Like, you wouldn't mind something like the Force Boots either, considering how late we are. Fallen Sky could be very nice for Dreamer's Soul. You've got the Giant Ring, the Ex Machina. Even the Mirror Shield could be quite decent here against all the disables you have with the Lion. Very, very impactful. I would agree that Ballista could be quite scary if Gabby does pick one up. Even the pure damage you can deal with that, it's kind of ridiculous, just the plus 50 pure damage. That might be the extra damage he requires to be able to deal with Dreamer Soul with these PL illusions.
It's kind of busted. And the attack range, especially in something like a Luna, right? Like, she has a pretty atrocious range. That just helps you kind of sit back for it. Almost doubles Luna's range, which is pretty ridiculous, considering that's her shortcoming as a range hero. So that could be big.
He has a Hurricane Pike in the backpack as well.
Oh, right, yeah, that's why it's short. Yeah, there we go.
He wants both of them.
Goodness me. We're reaching that point, this is what we were looking for, right, Mike? We said the last time these teams played, they had a 66, 46, and 77-ish minute game. Here we are. This is what we were expecting, and this is what we're getting. We just need to see if anyone gets impatient, but it doesn't look like it. Everyone's being really patient, just securing their jungle areas. Maybe both teams now realize, all right, let's wait. Easy peasy. Grab some Miranda. You don't need to be too active right now.
Pressure though, John. I mean, there it goes. Could be just a couple minutes away from securing your ticket to the grand final up against Fnatic, who are just patiently watching and waiting for their opponent. That opponent still is not very clear whatsoever. We're about 1 minute and 10 seconds away from those T5 items coming up. TNC, they should have first dibs on those T5 items, as they are the ones still controlling the map here. Boom. It would be a bit of a struggle to get out of the base at that 60-minute mark, and you can already see TNC ensuring that all the waves are just pushed in constantly. Someone's going to try and have to sneak out and secure some of the T5s for the team. You can get a massive advantage from those items. They're waiting. I mean, Gavi's got 10k in the bank. He got for the buyback. He could buy Divine if he really wants to. But they'll get prepared. They'll just take over the jungle. 30 seconds. We'll see how lucky TNC can get.
Yeah. They've got the majority control of Boom and Smoke.
They're not waiting. They want to go right now.
Players here.
Find a target. Oh, Gabby, he breaks the smoke. They haven't spotted him. Now they do, but they want to go the other way. They don't want to engage in the Luna. Instead, they'll try for Armel, but he goes for the phase shift. He's going to be all right. They'll launch back in. Dreamer Soul trying to get some form of damage out. Coil going to like both, or rather lock both of them in. Now the Squirrel's coming up on the backside there. Coil gets to the Phoenix and shot in high. He's going to try and help out. He's been caught out. Who's still there? They burst them down, but they will buy back as Makoto. He's still trying to fight himself. They need to go back him up ASAP. He is dropping quite low, and it looks like they
my elements
As well.
realign.
All 5 buybacks from Boom Esports. TNC,
Silence.
they are still very healthy.
Greetings.
They could keep going, but they're going to go back with the T5 items. Here we go, John.
Oh,
Ex
oh
Machina.
my god. Oh boy. First one, Ex Machina. Refresh Satanic, refresh BKB if you
Money
want.
changes hands.
It is so good. The armor is pretty decent too, considering it's a PL you're playing against. 25 armor at this point. It is not as
prize
much
silence.
DHP because of how
Illusion.
armor stacking works and how physical resist and to a certain extent magic resist works, but still really useful. Force boots as well, pretty nice. Stygian for Boom is pretty
Oh, there
bad.
it is.
Yeah, Fallen Sky at least comes out as well, so both teams finding some decent stuff. The Stygian, I don't know who you hand that off to. I'm not sure if you even do pick that up. Maybe your Mars if you feel like you lack damage. Book of the Dead is pretty dead as well at this point, especially against a Luna. Stat doesn't feel great, but I guess on Clockwork the stats are nice. So it's really just stats. I think TNC has the big picks, like Ex Machina, we've got Apex, Fallen Sky, and Force Boots. Like Gabby has mobility now. So he can kind of swap around after he pops the Illusionist Cape, go into the boots. HP regen's super nice as well in the middle of these fights. We've seen how tight Gabby's HP is. So I think TNC won out in that trade. Nothing silly like the Ballista or Giant Ring. It's still much more usable tier 5s compared to Boom. I mean, Book of the Dead. Like, okay, good stats and clock. That's it. Stygian on Mars is okay.
To note, John, they left Dreamercell without one of those items. He's carrying the Illusionist Cape still.
Wait up.
It's too good on PL.
Yeah. Fallen Sky goes the way of the left track, though. He's in, he's been caught out, though. He's there with the Iron Spear. It won't be enough, though. Armel's still alive, as now Brock's being targeted. Oh, no, the egg, Armel, he got caught out. He went back into it. Gabby, he's been left behind. They need to retreat. They're lost because of the Lion. Gabby, the Spurs go, they lock him down again with the Luna. They're going to have to fight back. Brock's still fighting. They need to get here ASAP. Aeon just Brock. They jump in again, Armel. He's rejoined the team. Dreamercell right on the backside. Dreamercell in trouble. Getting very low. Force not going to be enough. They got him down. They'll get the second time back. Wind Waker on Makoto. It's probably not going to be enough. They'll keep the chase up. This game is looking very over now. As they fall.
Oh my god!
Strange time to
TNC,
hibernate.
they've done it. The GG's being called. They get the 2-1 victory, and we
Radiant's
have a
mid tower's
rematch
coming apart.
in the grand final for the
Dire's
SCA
mid towers have an eye
TI10
to work
qualifiers.
without Radiant.
Fnatic against TNC. The classic matchup of SCA Dota. Once again.
Yeah, it's the classic end game towards TI. We've seen this over so many years. TNC Fnatic making it all the way. TNC, they had to play through lower bracket. They were knocked down by Fnatic 2-0. Boom in this game. Man, they looked like they had a couple moments. They were hanging on with such a huge deficit. They didn't manage to clear it out. They took a massive risk in that.